Hi everyone, this is Carlo L'Chelle Dawson with Bless Your Soul TV. I want to give you Teacher Tip Tuesday. I'm actually an educator. I've been teaching over a decade, really almost 2 decades, 18 years. And I just wanted to impart some of my knowledge to help you guys out. All right. We all can share as teachers, we can collaborate. And so that's what teaching is about. How can we help our students to be successful? So I just wanted to give you a few teacher tips just to help you out. And today I want to talk about classroom management. As we know, classroom management is a really big deal. If you can't manage your classroom, well, darling, it's going to be really tough to get the knowledge across. Okay? Across. So it's important that we actually have good classroom management. And so what is it? It's how do we keep our class in control, maintain control, so that students can learn what they need in order to be successful. So, really it starts from day one. So on day one, it is about employing the rules, stating the rules, and sometimes your rule can be, hey, let's be respectful. That's one of my big rules. If you show respect, it's important that we give respect to each other. And sometimes people may not give you respect back, but the goal is that they do. And so I always tell my students that I will give you respect, no matter what. Even if you don't give me respect, because it's about showing someone that it's important that we really are respectful of one another. And we can do that, all the other rules fall into place. Do I still state other rules? I actually do. Some teachers do not. I do. I actually reiterate other rules as well, and also consequences. Don't forget with classroom management, it's about making sure we have positive behavior interactions. So make sure those students know that, if they are good and if they're doing what they need to do, then they will be rewarded for that as well. That's highly important. I mean, hey, don't you like to have a bonus on your job? Teachers, wouldn't you like to have a bonus? I know I would. And so we love when we have those meals or those gift cards, okay, all that cool stuff. We want to make sure that we're giving students those same incentives as well. The other thing is every morning or at the top of the class, I say good morning or I say good afternoon. I say that to my students as they walk in. And then I make sure with classroom management, there's a routine. So you always want a routine. If you don't have a routine, it's going to be hard. Okay. So for me in my classroom, I start off with some type of warm up. Then after the warm up, we'll share out. There is it may be a lecture, it may be some type of reading that they have to do silently, and then there's group work. And then before they leave, there's some kind of exit slip or some type of quick brief assessment so that I can see what students have learned. Classroom management. So organization and classroom management go hand in hand, as you can see. All right. But I always say good morning or good afternoon. And I tell my students, even if you don't feel like it's a good morning, well, we proclaim it today. So we say good morning, even if we feel like it's not, because a lot of it is about speaking those things into existence. And it does, a part of that is helping students who may not have a great morning, but letting them know that they can speak some things into their existence. And a lot of it is attitude, right? That mindset growth. Okay. So the other tip is being consistent. So if you have a rule and there are consequences for not following the rules, be consistent. Don't allow one student to talk and then another student to not do that. And I always have to actually check myself to make sure, okay, this student talked over here. Am I going to allow these students to whisper and have conversations over here? No, I have to be fair. Is this student's tardy, then this student has to be reprimanded for being tardy as well. So it's about being consistent, because if you're not consistent, your students will realize and they'll know she's not fair, and you've lost all of the credibility if you're not consistent. One of the top things that I didn't get to talk about is knowing your students. So this is another tip. It's important that you get to know your students. So when you have those beginning of the year inventory sheets. And if you haven't, make sure you have some beginning of the year inventory sheets that you have, or get to know games, and get to know your students. Get to know their names, try to get to know their personalities, their backgrounds, their likes, their dislikes. You can use all of that. All of that's a part of classroom management. So, with some students, it's okay to raise your voice. With some students, we lower our voice. With some students, hugs are important. With some students, it's about that pound, okay? So it's about knowing your students and meeting them where they're at. And don't we all like that? Don't we all want to be known and be respected for who we are, and not looked at as a collective group? That's highly important. So another good classroom management tip is proximity. So it's about, okay, that is the bell. So you guys know, if you wanted to know if I was a teacher, you know now. So another tip is proximity, as I was saying. So if a student is misbehaving, it's important that there's several things you could do. And I use proximity a lot with students if it's not a major disruption. So I will walk over to a student and I would just lightly say, hold your head up. Okay. Or I would say, or I have my sticky notes and I would have a sticky note on it. And I might say, you need to get off your phone. And I might write it on a sticky note. Sticky note is a great tool because with that sticky note, you can, of course, not yell out to the student. The worst thing you want to do is yell out to a student and embarrass a student. Okay, so that's why the sticky note can be highly important. And then if there is a disruption with a child, sometimes it's important to go talk in the hallway. Like we said, not yelling out to the student like, hey, what's up? You disrupted my class. Okay, so sometimes it's important to go into the hallway and have a side conversation with the student. Saying, hey, I care about you. I want to see you succeed. What can we do together to make sure you succeed? That's highly important that you go and you talk to that student and let the student know you're an advocate for him or her. So many students need people to help them, and you can be that coach for them. And so it's important that as you coach them, you let them know you're on their team. You want to see them win. Okay. And so I often have the conversations and I pose it in that way. Now, like, you better get yourself together. Now, I will say, with some students, they're craving a mother or some type of maternal figure. Or if you're a male, some students may be craving a paternal figure. So you may be able to have that type of relationship. This is where knowing your student works well. You may be able to have a relationship where you can kind of joke with the student. Have a sense of humor. I will tell you, when I first started teaching, I was not so good at a sense of humor. Ask my husband. Sometimes I struggle. But I love to laugh and I love the joke. So joking is another part of classroom management if you're open to having a sense of humor. But sense of humor can go a long way. And it's important that in all of this with classroom management, it's about respecting the students as individuals. Just like you have flesh and blood and you cry and you have dreams and you have aspirations, all of these young people have aspirations, even if they don't show it to you. So it's important that you treat these young people with respect and just try to be empathetic. Put yourself in that young person's shoes so that they can know, hey, I have someone who's a coach. I have someone who cares. Well, that's just a few tips. I could go on and on, but I just want to give you a few tips to help you out with classroom management. That was my Teacher Tip Tuesday. If you like this video, make sure you share, subscribe, and also like. All right? And make sure to follow me and make sure you share some of the teacher tips I may have left. So just make sure to comment below if you can. All right. Well, that's it for today. I want to say Have a wonderful day. This is Carlo L'Chelle Dawson. You can follow me on social media as well at Carlo L'Chelle, because I'm also an author and a storyteller and a motivational speaker. All right. Have a great day. My website is carlolachelledawson.com, and bless your soul.